Some zodiac signs come with clear red flags, but the truth is, every sign shows traits that might make you think, I should have seen this coming. Whether it is emotional distance, control tendencies, or testing loyalty, each sign carries a caution. Today, the zodiac red flags are ranked from the least to the most dangerous, with a focus on how they manifest and why they cannot be ignored. Starting at the bottom, these are the signs that mask their red flags best, appearing more harmless than they are. Keep in mind, these traits are not inherently bad, but they can shape relationships in challenging ways. Pisces ranks last on the list as the romantic red flag. Soft, intuitive, and dreamy, Pisces often falls for the idea of someone rather than the reality. When illusions fade, effort tends to disappear too, escaping into fantasy instead of facing real issues. Promises of forever are common, but when times get tough, Pisces may retreat into emotional fog. Avoiding conflict is a pattern, and reactions might include ghosting, tears, or poetic expressions instead of confrontation. This is not about malice, but about denial and avoidance hidden under a sensitive exterior. Pisces teaches that sometimes the red flag is just a soft one. Next is Taurus, known as the comfort trap. Taurus appears stable and loyal, but this can slide into possessiveness, masked as devotion. Resistance to change leads to clinging to routines and relationships that may have outlived their purpose. What looks like loyalty often stems from a fear of loss, holding on tightly to what has been claimed. This control can smother the spark and make love feel more like ownership. The intention is usually good, but it is easy to feel trapped instead of cherished. Taurus's red flag warns about confusing security with stagnation. Virgo brings the silent judgment red flag. Not loud or aggressive, but subtle and precise. Instead of open criticism, Virgo analyzes and dissects, turning a loved one into a project in need of improvement. Conditional care can feel like love must be earned through perfection, creating pressure rather than comfort. Flaws in others are noticed quickly, while personal shortcomings are rarely acknowledged. Although meant to help, this approach often cuts deeper than intended, eroding warmth from the relationship. Virgo's red flag lies in perfectionism that drains emotional connection. Cancer carries the emotional gatekeeper red flag. The depth of feelings is undeniable, but so is the memory that lingers. Forgiveness may be extended, but scars remain, sometimes used as subtle leverage. When fear of abandonment rises, nurturing can turn into manipulation, creating emotional traps. Cancer seeks safety but can control the emotional atmosphere to maintain it, leading to guilt trips disguised as care. This protective nature sometimes isolates rather than includes, highlighting the complicated balance between love and control within emotional relationships. Libra's red flag is being the people pleaser. The pursuit of peace and harmony is so strong that true feelings might be hidden or denied. Charm and diplomacy work to keep the peace, but this often means burying conflicts instead of resolving them. Saying it's fine can mask drifting away quietly, leaving others uncertain where they stand. The drive to keep everyone happy makes Libra unreliable when honesty is most needed. Avoiding confrontation becomes a habit, with the risk of disconnect growing over time. Choosing harmony over honesty is Libra's cautionary tale. Capricorn shows the emotional fortress red flag. Responsibility and ambition dominate, but emotional availability is limited. Open doors seem inviting at first, yet only approved aspects are revealed. Vulnerability is seen as weakness, leading to walls that shut out deeper connection. Building a future together might feel solid, but the heart remains locked away. This emotional discipline keeps distance in relationships, often misunderstood by those seeking closeness. Capricorn's red flag is the challenge of balancing strength with openness. Gemini represents the charming chaos red flag. Magnetic, engaging, and funny, but unpredictably distant. Emotional whiplash occurs when focus shifts suddenly, and the person once close becomes a stranger. Reinvention is constant, making it hard to pin down what is real. There is no intent to deceive, just a restless search for stimulation that leaves others confused. One day feeling like everything, the next like just a passing phase. Gemini warns about loving someone who thrives on change, for better or worse. Sagittarius is the commitment runner red flag. Freedom is prized above almost all, and honesty reigns in the moment. However, promises may be outgrown faster than they are made. Disappearing for space can feel like abandonment to those seeking clarity. Impulsiveness might seem authentic, but it often leads to confusion and hurt. Sagittarius's approach questions whether following the heart can also mean leaving others behind. Their red flag highlights how loving someone who values freedom can test the bonds of trust. Aquarius stands out as the detached idealist red flag, passionate about humanity but distant from individuals. Love is treated like an intellectual experiment rather than emotional connection. When feelings get messy, retreating into logic is the default response. The need for control clashes with the desire for meaningful connection, creating contradictions. Caring deeply about big-picture issues sometimes overshadows attention to the person right beside them. Aquarius's red flag is about balancing visionary ideals with personal warmth. Leo's red flag is the performer's ego, not arrogance, but a deep dependency on admiration and applause. Loving passionately but expecting recognition in return can put pressure on relationships. When hurt, retreating into silence forces others to seek forgiveness. Drama can be a tool to reclaim attention, making love feel like a stage where Leo must always be the star. This intense need to be seen and validated shapes how love is given and received. Leo's caution reminds us that love is about partnership, not performance. Scorpio claims the power player red flag. Emotional control is magnetic but easily turns manipulative. Loyalty is tested like a survival game, and silence speaks volumes. Knowing weaknesses and holding onto them creates a dynamic where trust becomes a strategic play. Forgiveness is rarely offered after perceived betrayal, replaced by a drive for revenge. Scorpio's intense emotions can become weapons, making relationships high stakes. Their red flag warns about the dangers of love entangled with power struggles. Aries takes the top spot as the walking explosion red flag, passionate and fiery, but quick to anger and impulsive actions. Mistakes happen because moving fast often means skipping reflection. Speaking without softening words and loving without considering fallout can hurt those nearby. There is no intention to harm, just an addiction to movement and excitement, even when it stirs chaos. Aries embodies red flags wrapped in energy and authenticity, making boredom impossible, but sometimes at a cost. The lesson here is recognizing when impulse turns into damage. Every zodiac sign carries some form of red flag, but awareness can transform warnings into wisdom. Recognizing these patterns within ourselves or others is the first step toward healthier relationships. The real question is not whether a red flag exists, but whether there is courage to face and address it. Share your sign in the comments. Do you resonate with these red flags or attract them? Do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell for weekly zodiac insights that help decode the stars and ourselves.